Hello, everyone, and welcome to our virtual event. My name is Lindsay Copeland, and I am an account manager for Cosentino. Also with me today is Chris Okray. She's our commercial rep that's with us as well today. So we are both so glad that you are here with us today as we begin our launch, uh, the Loft Collection by Cosentino. Also joining us today are three very special guests: Aaron Lilly, Global CMF Design Manager for Kohler Company; Rochelle Mowry, Lead Commercial Designer for RDG St. Louis; and Tony Stanley, Lead Interior Designer for the David Bren Design Group. We are so excited that you guys are here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. As we begin to share our new collection, we thought it would be a fun way to do it a little different today. We know many of you have been or still are at home, so we would like to invite you to take a trip with us today. Today, we are going to travel together through 5 cities that are the inspiration of our Loft series.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On board.
And efforts by our production team. The Loft series includes 5 colors inspired by concrete. As you know, concrete's a material capable of creating emotion through texture, finish, and shading, creating a new relationship between people and objects. A new soulful identity is born where materials come to life in the rawest form. With the collection, we are confident that Silestone is stepping forward as the most innovative brand in the surface industry. Loft as an architectural space is a concept that was born in the middle of the 20th century, where some neighborhoods in New York that were full of small factories and warehouses for restoration of naval cargo in the seaport area were given a second life for housing and living spaces. Then at the time, the concrete and iron beams gave relevance to a new trend. In some ways, we can say the Loft is a trip to rediscover the essence of some neighborhoods in different cities. Cool spaces characterized by urban minimalism where the industrial aesthetics will be present, but with a fresh light with more social activity than ever before. Loft is an urban collection that revisits through design lenses the essence of 5 iconic neighborhoods in the cities of London, Barcelona, New York, and Detroit. Are you ready? Let's begin our trip. Our first stop is the vibrant and popular city of Camden.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for that introduction. So Camden, it sounds like 80s punk. It speaks 1,000 languages, dresses eclectically, and is home to hundreds of emerging artists. Posters and works of art are part of Camden's history and decorate their facades of exposed brick. There's rusty tones, steely shades, and the wear and tear of living spaces have inspired Camden. A soft, delicate, homogeneous gray with a fine grain and a very subtle white veining. Camden is a cementous gray. It is versatile, adaptable color, easy to incorporate with any decoration thanks to its homogeneity. Perfect for everyday decorations. From London, we are traveling to the Mediterranean seaside of Barcelona. Our next destination is Poblano.
Wow, that was nice, Lindsay. Poblano was the epic center of the Industrial Revolution in Barcelona, and it's grown significantly. Its contrasts have become the main attraction for locals and travelers. Poblano has Mediterranean warmth with an industrial appearance. It is cosmopolitan, yet suburban. It's a family-friendly and multicultural, all in the same neighborhood. Its old industrial buildings have been turned into fabulous lofts surrounded by art galleries, pop-up bars, shops, corner shops, and new businesses. Bikes move freely around the wide streets, and you can attend an exhibit or just go shopping. Poblano has a warm, smooth shade of gray with very subtle veins on the surface, a matte color that reminds us of the Mediterranean sand. The ideal tone is to use day-to-day family setting. From Barcelona, we will travel across the Atlantic to our next destination, New York. Seaport, an industrial Navy area well famous in the past when the maritime trade was most relevant activity. Let's go to Seaport.
Visiting Seaport is like traveling through time, back to an era when maritime trade was the key player in a small but crucial area for the economic future of New York. Many of its buildings still retain the essence of the 19th century. Its low buildings with exposed bricks, worn concrete, and characteristic wood from the docks form a chromatic range that inspires this silestone dark gray. Seaport is a complex gray full of possibilities. It recreates a dark cement color with a worn charm. It invites you to explore different atmospheres thanks to its hazy white shade, which makes it a unique proposition. It is an eccentric color with personality, ready to satisfy with the most demanding preferences. For now, we will stay in New York, but let's take a quick subway ride over to Nolita.
Nolita was an avant-garde when it was part of Little Italy and when it unsuccessfully tried to join Soho. In the mid-1990s, Nolita found its name, north of Little Italy, and their identity. The elements that made it unique came through. We are talking about unique places, totally different from each other. First, we have to mention St. Patrick's Cathedral, established in 1808. Then the Puck's Building, which was the long-term home of Puck magazine, the first successful magazine of humor and political satire in the United States. And last but not least, the New Museum, a building in the shape of a huge sugar cube, home to exclusive contemporary work of art. Their authentic and revolutionary streets differentiate them from the surrounding neighborhoods, With this historical background, we have created Nolita. Nolita is a white color with interesting variations of neutral gray tones. It combines especially with open spaces where purity and calm are sought, walking hand in hand with art and avant-garde. We now take a quick plane ride to our final destination in Detroit. Corktown has an intelligent touch evoking of old style. Let's go to Corktown.
Corktown grew up among steam, pistons, and the sound of engines. It soon became the pretty girl of the American dream. It was, metaphorically speaking, Miss America. It was successful, it was booming, and then disaster happened. Even so, a few decades ago, it came back with a renewed beauty and an interesting and intellectual old style. It is worth walking by the Fox Theater or the Michigan Central Train Depot to imagine its former industrial splendor. Corktown has been inspired by the light and shade of Detroit's most legendary neighborhood to create the most intense black in the series. Elegance is the key to this black tone with subtle brown touches and an extra matte finish. Corktown effects are reminiscent of surfaces that have experienced the passage of time. Ideal for exclusive and mature environments where everything counts. In all loft colors, we have an ultra matte finish. And now that you have seen all of the new colors, I will turn it over to Chris for a very exciting announcement.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yes, Silestone Loft is not all about colors. It also includes groundbreaking technology, High Brick Plus, an exciting pioneering innovation exclusive by Cosentino. High Brick Plus was a development of Cosentino 3 years in the making. It's a technological innovation incorporated into Silestone to elevate it to a new state with more sustainability and more environmental production process and more beauty and design possibilities. High Brick brings a great contribution to health and safety conditions for the people who manipulate the product. For example, stonemasons and fabricators. This is due to the reduction of the silica level in silestone composition and the presence of an assortment of minerals and recycled materials to achieve the same quality that silestone guarantees. This is a new era for silestone, as from now on, every series we launch in the market will incorporate High Brick and High Brick Plus technology. We at Cosentino are proud of our contributions to the environment. We have a carbon zero footprint in Decton, and now it's time for Silestone. We onboard this High Brick technology with a lot of research, resources, and a big investment was put into this. We want to get it right because it's the right thing to do. The result is a true testament to our commitment to be the leaders in sustainability in our industry. High Brick contains a maximum of 10% silica, making it considerably safer for the manufacturers, stonemasons, and anyone who's working with a stone. It has a lesser impact to the environment as we manufacture it with 19% reduced water. And all the energy used is renewable energy, Lindsay. High Brick Plus shares all the values of High Brick. But in addition, we include at least 20% of recycled material glass in the composition of the product. This has been applied to Loft and will be applied to all Silestone colors going forward. We are very proud of the results, including safety, sustainability, and the legacy to the future generations.
Thank you so much, Chris. That is some exciting news. I know we're all very excited about this new launch and that new technology. So we have taken a trip now through several cities that inspired this new collection. So now we're on to a new section here within our presentation, which will include some design inspiration from some collections of moods and colors to tie in with these collections. Also, we will be hearing from our panelists for the first time, so I'm very excited about that. So first, let's take another look at Camden. Okay, so as an added treat, we wanted to bring in some local flavor since primarily everyone in this presentation is from the Midwest. We thought we would tie in some inspiration that can pull in some of the qualities of Camden. So for Camden, we selected the St. Louis Arch. Midwestern flavor and inspiration here, as we felt it just tied nicely to the collection. We see here the steely gray, which is brought out in the St. Louis Arch and reflected in Detroit's auto industry as well. We also see the lively colors and striking archways here in the centerpiece of the St. Louis Union Station, the Grand Hall. Now let's take a closer look at a few Camden design tips.
We must have a little turbulence there. Do you want to have Rochelle
I think
talk?
so.
Go right
Jump
ahead.
ahead a little bit. So going back to Camden, as far as design tips, Camden is perfect for young spaces, inspired by creativity, places full of energy, urban materials, woods, metals, and bright colors help to really tie in this color. So now that we have seen a few design tips and some local inspiration behind the color Camden, would like to introduce for the first time our first guest, Rochelle Mowry with RDG, and wanted to hear what your take is on Camden.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hey,
Thanks.
Rochelle.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'm really excited about this collection for its subtle sophistication. I think the neutral, nature-inspired textures and colors are beautiful and will be really fun to work with. So with Camden taking on that light, subtle concrete look, I could really see this being used as a neutral backdrop to an overall design where you can then focus more on an individual component, feature, or color within the space. But at the same time, I love the idea of using it to create a warm, overall nature-inspired neutral palette. So in my mind, I could see this, I'd use this every day in cladding a counter in a cafe or a bistro, using some warm, light wood accents, maybe a white textured mosaic tile on the walls and some black light fixtures. I think that would.
That sounds beautiful.
Do it.
Yeah. definitely. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Okay, we can move forward to Poblano.
All right, now we're going to focus on the Midwest flavor in our mood boards. Here in the Midwest, the inner suburbs and the country areas are still showcasing some warmer tones with thicker edges and people still wanting to hold on to their honey oak and cabinets and trim, and sometimes going away from whites and grays with smaller, thinner profiles much more slowly than Minneapolis or St. Paul, who have adapted to the modern and industrial look at a much faster pace. However, the industrial areas in downtown are just that. They are very dark in cement and copper tones, leaving a very bare and kind of a colder feel. This look is a very popular among younger generations, but what we're missing is that warmer component, the component in Poblano. It's a perfect warmer tone. And now, just for fun, we're going to look at Poblano's inspiration board. The vitality of Poblano encourages the use of neutral materials to bring out decorative possibilities, integrating natural beauty into any interior design. Objects made from handcrafted fibers and fabrics come perfectly with the warm tones. It invites you to create spaces with soft woods, pastel shades, and harmonious and ready to reflect natural light. Fabrics and fibers and natural elements are perfect. We have hues and new technology to get fantastic integration. This is a warm color with a gray base, so it combines well with any materials and works well with a splash of color. After the inspiration and the design tips and how it rocked Minnesota, let's hear from our second panelist and my Milwaukee friend, Tony, from David Brin. Thank you, Tony, so much for being with Lindsay and I today. Tony, we can't wait to hear your take on the color of Poblano and how you will incorporate it into your projects.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here. Thank you. So Poblano, certainly like you mentioned, I think warmer tones and natural materials are such a large part of 2020 so far. And I don't foresee that going anywhere. Poblano is such a beautiful product with this really subtle movement and the lighter background, as you mentioned, and I think it would pair really well with a variety of wood tones, some greenery, any natural fiber material. So really kind of digging into the natural side of things and keeping it nature inspired. Also, on the contrary, I think that it could work really well in an industrial style application because it is a little warmer. It wouldn't feel too cold, like sometimes those industrial kind of inspired spaces can get. So I think as far as like how I picture using it, I could see creating a palette around this with starting with Poblano and then adding some soft tones, maybe some ivory, blush, and more of like a muted green, and kind of building off of that with a really light wood tone for a really pretty and a little trendy, a little feminine kind of palette. But I think balancing with this harder and a little bit more masculine tone really will balance out really nicely.
Thank you, Tony. That sounds just beautiful. Next, we will visit Seaport.
So for our Midwestern inspiration that ties in with Seaport, we see here in our Midwest inspiration local flavor slide. Get that pulled up here. Awesome. So we see a beautiful view here overlooking vibrant downtown Portland. Our water inspiration featuring the downtown Portland River Walk along the Willamette River. And lastly, we see the vibrant and beautiful red balloon sculpture along the south waterfront in downtown Portland, also featuring the Tillicum Crossing, Portland's cable-stayed bridge across the Willamette River. Portland, a true seaport inspiration as we see our local flavor that ties into the vibrance of life and energy of living by waterways. Okay, and next we will go to our mood board here for Seaport. I see this beautiful concrete look paired with the vibrant colors. I think that's just stunning. We see it combines with all kinds of wood, matches materials reminiscent of worn leather, shades of ochre and dark brown. It is a perfect color for intimate spaces, interiors where upholstery, ochre, blue, and smoked glass play a major role. Seaport is the strongest industrial style. It's a very heavy color, close to the concrete color, and combines in the lofts that started in the 80s, very close to the sea. Okay, and so next we will hear from Erin. Erin Lilly is with Kohler. And Erin, I just wanted to hear your take on the color Seaport.
Well, first off, thank you. I think the Loft series is an instant classic here. I'm so excited to work with this. Seaport really spoke to me because it's got an energy and elegance that I, as a material and a color, that I'm really gravitating towards. Obviously, I'm very much focused on kitchen and bath. So for something like a kitchen where we're seeing a lot of indigos and emeralds coming into play to make it more vibrant, and definitely layering in warmer woods and playing up different textures to make that space feel authentic, Seaport is kind of that anchoring material that really brings the space together. And it's got such a broad workability. So if I was to take it into a bathroom, I would do something where we play up kind of a noir sanctuary. We play with shades of gray and black. So pairing it with like a honed black faucet finish and perhaps like a lavender gray sink from Kohler. So really bring these colors together. And I'm just really excited about it because the authenticity and the color, texture, dimension.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. That space would be beautiful. All right, so next we will turn it over back to Chris for more coverage on the color Nolita.
So we're gonna start out with that nice. Now for a little of our Midwest local flair. Chicago, Minneapolis, and Milwaukee, these Midwestern cities embrace the imperfection and unique diversity of architectural and design. Nolita is a dream to the industrial growing Midwest. This color can be a yang to your yin or a yin to your yang. Nolita is the voice of reason between traditional warm color tones and style into the more industrial, cold, urban growing world of the metropolitan Midwest. Chicago is really well known in the Midwest, but what the country doesn't know is Minneapolis and Milwaukee are just as amazing and are slowly creeping up to Chicago and becoming just as big, just as populous, and just as cool and just as trendy. This color Nolita is perfect in these areas that allow our communities to be able to transform at their own pace into the modern industrial world. Now, let's look at some inspirations of Nolita. Nolita embraces the cleanliness and the calm of the minimalist design. It's a color that works well with glazed, transparent spaces full of pure geometric shapes. And by adding light wood and bright tones, we can create this sophisticated artistic atmosphere. Nolita favors the use of natural stone, very strong texture such as granite. Now, we have seen these design tips, inspiration in our Midwest flavor. Tony, would you like to share some design tips for us and how you think Nolita will fit into your projects or our Midwest region?
Sure. Yeah, of course. So, I think moody and bold certainly has its place. But as you were saying, I think bright, clean, minimal, it's really huge right now. And Nolita is, I think, so great and so usable just because it's so flexible. It can really be the base of basically any design and really provide that pure and clean foundation to the start of any design, but without falling flat because it does have a really nice texture. And I think it really just allows for the opportunity to add any other color or material as its counterpart. And so personally, I would love to use it in a bathroom, and kind of what you spoke about. It's funny that that's the same, but I was going to say with some more geometric elements, whether that be in different tile or through, mirrors or fixtures, but to kind of play with that and then accent with a really high contrast, dark paint color. So like a deep pewter or nice charcoal. So just really high contrast pieces, and you keep the Nolita and hard surface to be really clean and minimal and bright.
Awesome, Tony. I love it. So our next and final stop, Lindsay, is Corktown.
Awesome. Are you guys able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So as we have there I am. All right. As we've previously learned, we draw the most of the inspiration for this color from our very own Midwest Detroit district of Corktown. Here we see inspiration as the district of Corktown is known for its whiskey distillery, Two James Spirits, and calls home to the oldest neighborhood in Detroit. Also with rich brown tones seen here with St. Louis inspiration, with the deep varying tones of beer and horses. Now let's see a few design tips for Corktown. Awesome. This may be my personal favorite. This golden and dark brown wood tone and glass belong to the particular universe of Corktown. To complete our design inspiration and local Midwest tour, we're going to include Rochelle here to speak on Corktown. All right.
So this color I think would be the showpiece of the space. Mix it with some rich walnut accents, some bronzy metals, maybe some leather furnishings. And I think this would create a really dramatic, rich scene. I could see using it as a feature wall in an office entry lobby or behind a reception desk. Picture a concrete floor with a thick textured rug, some leather lounge chairs, black and bronze light fixtures.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Rochelle. A big thank you to all three of you for adding your take on these colors, including your inspiration and how you would use these in your spaces as you guys would be designing. Chris and I, at this time, we wanted to turn it over to you all to speak a little bit more about your business, any exciting projects you might be working on, and just get to know you a little more. So yeah, let's just chat. We'll go ahead and start with Erin. And so Erin, I know you are the Global CMF Design Manager for Kohler Company.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're committed to immersive, user-centric spatial design. Erin leverages her passion for trend forecasting and innovation to drive leading-edge color, material, and finish solutions for Kohler Company. Prior to joining Kohler, Erin worked in several consultancies that catered to luxury, hospitality, retail, and furniture industries. Erin is a graduate of an industrial design program at the College for Creative Studies. So Erin, we are thrilled you are here. I will turn it over to you.
Yeah, so I am a Detroit native, so Corktown was actually I loved it, loved the inspiration. As you said, I am the color, material, and finish studio manager. So I work mostly on product development and forecasting. So we're looking, 3 to 5 years down the road, what type of materials, colors, finishes, decorative effects, people were going to want to incorporate into their residential spaces, and also what are we going to see in hospitality and those larger public spaces. So we have a longstanding relationship with Cosentino at Kohler because our products do exist side by side and in multiple scenarios. And we look to Cosentino to kind of lead the way with their vision of larger materials and just the texture that they're bringing to a space.
Wonderful. Thank you. So specifically, where do you see our industry headed in the future, in the next few years, and why?
Oh, that's a good question. Obviously, let's just start with residential. We're all spending a lot more time at home, and I think consumers are re-examining their house with different eyes, because those spaces have to be harder working for us. Obviously, I'm part of a kitchen and bath group, so we are very much focused in those spaces. So when you look at the kitchen, it's not just an entertainment zone anymore. It's the hub of the family. It's where you're taking your Zoom calls, getting your kids, teaching your kids, or, connecting with your neighbors. And then in the bathroom, it's that hub of well-being. So it's the place where you might be doing telemedicine, or it might be the only place in your house that you have 5 minutes of peace. So we believe that in the building industry for residential, consumers are going to be looking for authenticity, self-expression, and effortless maintenance. Because if we're going to be existing in these spaces, they might as well spark joy and really be a reflection of ourselves and our family, but they also should be easy to clean and maintain. And then on top of that, we're seeing a rise in sustainability. So this hybrid tech application that you guys announced is just amazing and very close to our values as well. as a company, because we're always looking for a way to use our waste stream or to reduce our carbon footprint. And we know our consumers are as well, especially in these times and moving forward.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Erin. Okay, so up next, I would like to bring to you guys again, Rochelle Mowry with RDG. She is currently working as a lead designer in senior living. Rochelle has expertise in healthcare, government, commercial, primary education, and higher education laboratories. She is a graduate of the University of Missouri-Columbia and received her master's in architecture from Washington University here in St. Louis. So, Rochelle, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I work at RDG Planning and Design in St. Louis. We're actually down here in Maplewood, if anyone's heard of that area. We actually have employees spread out around the country, some working remotely, but we have a few main offices, one in Des Moines, Omaha, and St. Louis. Our portfolio is vast with not only projects in the Midwest, but around the country, really. We specialize in everything from community and regional planning, K through 12, higher ed, healthcare, parks and rec, and senior living, of course, just to name a few. But here in St. Louis, we do mainly specialize in senior living. And our motto here at RDG is to create meaning together. And I love what I do, not only because of the camaraderie and friendship I find here and with our clients, but because I have the opportunity to honor the aging community and by creating beautiful and functional environments for them to live out their days with dignity. So that is my meaning.
That's wonderful. I know the other day when we were chatting over coffee, it was very intriguing to me to learn more about what you were doing and the projects that you take on and those spaces, specifically senior living, and how much detail and thought are put behind that. So it's not the world that I'm typically working in. I'm more on the other side of things. So I really enjoyed getting to talk with you. So specifically, Rochelle, have you seen any impact with our current economic and social situations that we are in the design industry? And if so, how have you adjusted?
Well, I'd say for our company as a whole, it doesn't feel like we've skipped a beat just as far as, having clients and coworkers literally spread across the country. Our major form of communication and interaction has always been, or mostly been, through a Zoom call. So, the transition to quarantine was actually really, seamless for us. So we could just keep working as needed. However, obviously some markets felt the hit a little bit more than others. So what I saw really was in our industry, my coworkers and I, our team, the perseverance and resilience that we had. And, if one market was down, we moved in to help fill wherever needed. And then talk about perseverance and resilience, our clients within the senior living community. They've been hit really hard the last several months. And we've seen projects go on hold. We've seen them pushing forward on small renovations while kitchens and dining areas are closed. While residents are safely quarantined, they're able to get a little bit of work done. But now I am seeing quite a few communities pushing forward on their repositionings or their new additions, thinking toward the future. And what I found speaking to a few of them is that they enjoy these little moments where they can get their minds off of the stresses of their daily routine to take a look at some pretty finishes and think toward a better future. And I think what we've all been talking about here is that let's not jump to create, new design features or elements that maybe are not, let's not jump too far ahead of ourselves to, to move toward all wipeable vinyl surfaces. Let's not,
Right.
lead that direction. Let's wait for everything to kind of settle down and really see what our communities need, what they're really fighting, what they really, what their residents really need,
Yeah, that's so true and so important. All right, Rochelle, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, certainly, we will hear from lead designer Tonya or Tony. Do you prefer to be called Tonya or Tony?
I get it all. I'm used to
Okay.
it all, so I'll take whatever.
All right. So Tonya, you're the lead designer at David Bren Design Group. She offers design services to their clients, ranging from single tile selections to detailed install plans and selections needed for full renovation projects, commercial and residential. You guys offer high-end custom tile solutions and specialize in large slab installation like Decton and Silestone. So thank you so much for being here. I will turn it over to you so we can learn a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So my company right now, we focus on stone and tile installation, like you said, more on that installation side. So both residentially and commercial. I would say the majority of what we're doing is kitchen and bath focused right now, but we can basically do it all if it has stone or tile in it. So we do cover a very wide range of projects, which is nice just to keep things flexible. So one project I do want to talk about that we are working on right now is we're solidifying some details on opening up a showroom space in a design center. So since we do focus on that stone and tile installation side, we've decided to create mini vignettes instead of just tile display options, thinking that that would be a really great resource for people to come in and see things in a larger format and also just in multiple different applications. Again, kind of specializing in that bathroom and kitchen niche for that. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a really great resource for other designers, for certainly our clients and a space to work with our clients, as well as for builders, subcontractors. So that'll be coming in the next few months. And then since we are thankful to specialize in large format tile and very thin slab, I think it's really great because right now it is super desired from a lot of clients, just looking for that minimal grout, larger format, very clean look. And it's something that we're very thankful that we can offer that to clients. And it also obviously gives that opportunity to partner with Cosentino for opening this showroom space. So win-win there. And we can obviously display the beautiful product and new things coming in the door. So that's something that we're really excited about right now.
Nice. That sounds really exciting. So you said within the next couple months, you all will have that, or it's in the works.
Yes, absolutely. It's been in the works. Things have obviously kind of changed and got pushed back with this year, and just a lot of unforeseen things happening. But it's definitely top of our list right now, and yeah, hopefully sooner than later.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So a question I had for you, Tonya, sustainability is more important than ever right now with the mass consumption of single-use products. Does this cause you to be a little more selective in your materials or products in order to find more sustainable options?
Sure. Yeah. So personally, sustainability is very important to me. I'm actually part of the Sustainability Design Committee through ASID in Wisconsin. And within that, we're an advocate for sustainability within the industry. And we also host events, our main one being where we created a recycling program. and that's for unused samples or discontinued materials to be reused. And so we essentially would put those out, and a lot of teachers and daycares, I would say specifically, but really anybody to the public is open to reuse those materials. So that's one of our biggest things. Really happy to be a part of that. So in my everyday life, I think just in general, part of our responsibility as designers is to really think about the welfare, of the client and the end user and who's producing the product in general that we're specifying and using daily. So I think sustainability simply can't be the top priority in every project, unfortunately. But, where it can be, we try to definitely be intentional about that. And so for me, it's, with paint, kind of the easy things would be paint and our, tile setting and preparation materials to make sure that those are low to no VOC. And then I would say to use local products as much as possible is always important, to kind of reduce that CO2 footprint. And additionally, just supporting local in general is huge, especially right now. And then also just being able to reuse any material that we can. We recently were able to use some reclaimed Cream City brick in Milwaukee in a condo, which actually came off of a house in Lake Geneva. So just a cool kind of reclaimed, repurposed story there. And also we're able to donate some materials or fixtures after we're demoing a project, if there is anything additional that is still in fairly good condition. So we do look to do that if possible. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really interesting about the Cream City brick. As Chris and I were doing some research, she got some feedback on the Cream City brick, which I was unaware of. So it was really interesting to learn about that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much. Really, really
Lindsay.
appreciate it.
Lindsay,
Yes.
we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a question from
Okay.
our audience. The first question, and I'd like Erin, if you'd be willing to answer, is where do you see our industry headed in the next few years and why? Oh, I think you're on mute, Erin.
Of course I am. I think interior wise, everybody's very much conscious of hygiene and sanitation. So we are going to see the continued shifting to more minimalist or reduced ornamentation. But that doesn't have to be devoid of personality. So just what I like to call like a softer side of minimalism, and that's still approachable. And definitely the Loft series is kind of pushing, falling right in line with that, where it's taking the cues of industrial, but making it very much low maintenance and easy to clean. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the final question is, when will the Loft series be available? It's available right now at your Cosentino centers. We invite you to go to the showrooms, take a virtual tour, with everything that's going on. You can see these colors firsthand. Reach out to your builder sales manager, your account manager, your commercial rep. We have the digital platform. You can order free materials. Samples are beautifully packaged at no charge. We're material bank. We're here to get them to you. Just ask.
Definitely. All right, Chris.
All right.
Thank you so much. So going through the chat, was there any other questions from our viewers?
No, that is it. So
Okay.
that's it.
Perfect.
So, Lindsay, I think we have we've come to the end of our virtual event, and again,
Yes.
we want to share that these colors are now available at your Cosentino centers and your Cosentino showrooms. Please visit virtually, make an appointment, see them firsthand. They're beautiful. Lindsay and I would really like to thank our special guests who joined us today and to share the special event with all of you. And thank all of you. I know everybody's busy and we sincerely appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules. We hope that you are as excited about the collection as Lindsay and I. We hope to see you again very soon. And remember to loft your home. Woo! Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.